Hello, everyone. Welcome to the fifth bracket stream from Star Wars in the Galaxy. It's been a while. Jacob and I were just looking at how long it's been. It has been. We usually do these every 6 months or something like that. We're gonna try and make these more frequent in the future. We're so excited to be doing this, but today we have a very special task, and that is we've been doing a lot of episodes of television, a lot of scenes, a lot of all that kind of stuff, like more of the meta stuff. But today, of course, we have the Club Shadows.
That's right.
We have those background characters. I made the thumbnail as the is the Star Wars fans be like, hey, Glup Shadow is here. We are going to talk about all those characters in Star Wars who don't do a lot. They can't appear for a substantial amount of time in much of Star Wars. But we did have the requirement that they must appear in a movie, TV show, or video game for at least a second. So unfortunately, no book exclusive background characters or comic exclusive background characters. I'm sorry, Droid Crush Pirates of Bestoon. You will be missed. Yeah, but welcome back to Star Wars in the Galaxy. I'm Eli.
I'm Jacob.
And yeah, so we're doing this with the winners of our past bracket streams. And
all the heavy hitters back.
All the heavy hitters back. Two of these people got their one of their picks to first place in the last bracket stream. One of them got their picks to first and second. So that was quite an accomplishment. Wish you could do that in trivia. I can see him yelling at me from backstage. But first I'm gonna welcome on from Talking Bay 94. It is Maggie Nerdy.
Hello, everybody. Happy to be here.
Hi, welcome to the stream.
I'm excited to see. Everyone had some really interesting Club Shadows, and everyone had at least one quirk that I'm like, I would not have gone there, but I can totally see how it's going on there. Next, of course, is the winner of our by the way, Maggie is the winner of our Star Wars series, Star Wars seasons bracket. The winner of our Star Wars film scenes bracket, Marie Wilson.
Hello.
Hi, Marie. Thanks so much for coming on.
Me.
Absolutely. And the winner of our Mandalorian episodes bracket, and that is Jarod the Dark Jedi.
Hello there. I'm very excited. I have a theme. I stayed on brand with mine. I got the Glup Shirto on, as I like to call it, because it's all the background shittos from Jabba's palace. I'm ready to rock and roll, baby.
Roosevelt's, please sponsor this man.
Please.
All right. So it's been a while, so I'll quickly re-explain the rules. We have our bracket. Actually, I'm going to quickly put our the bracket that we are using in the chat, so everybody can follow along. So you each have 30 seconds. We will be timing, though. Again, if you like we said before the stream started, before the stream started, if you go over a second or two, that's fine. Just wrap it up by the time that the 30 second timer hits. You have that amount of time to defend that character. We'll hear from both sides, and then the remaining three will vote. Luckily, there will be no ties, as we have an odd number of people. There will be no ties, so no need to go to the chat for tie breaking. No need to pull out the chance cubes. No need to do any of that crazy stuff that falls to fate. But yeah, these are all background characters. This is just a recommendation because some of these characters are so legitimately obscure. I would recommend to people If your character is really obscure, maybe dedicating a bit of time to explaining who the hell some of these people are. But that's just me. But first we have our first round. We have this new format. I have this new layout feature. First up, we have Maggie and Jacob is our first round. Maggie is going to be defending Ubla Mulbro, and Jacob is going to be defending Wilra Hood. So, Maggie, as you're listed first, you can go first. Whenever you're ready to start, go ahead, and I'll go ahead, and Jacob will get the timer ready for you.
Alrighty. It's no secret that the scene of Canto Bight can be a bit controversial. People have hot opinions on to whether it belonged in the movie or not. I personally am a Canto Bight apologist, but regardless of which camp you fall in, there's no debate that the culmination of the scene is when you have this background character with this beautiful scene-stealing musical scream, and that is Ubla Mulbro, an opera singer who is covered in eggs. And really, what is more glupshido than a background character who sings and is covered in eggs?
Eli, can I get confirmation of who you said for me? Because that is not on my list of glupshidos. So maybe there was a
you didn't have Wilra Hood
here. I have Biggs, I have Malakili, I have Sibo, I have Roran Karab, I have Makas and Numa.
Yeah. I thought you would replace somebody else. Never mind. Do we have Malakili here? Oh, we do. Let's see. Who did we miss out on? Oh, Sibo. I replaced the wrong person because you wanted Sibo gone, right?
I can do Sibo. I'll do Sibo.
Oh, okay. So you want to do Sibo in there instead?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do Sibo there. I'm correcting the bracket right now. Let's see, that would be Sibo. All right, so it's Sibo now versus Ubla Mulbro. So, all right, here we go. Jacob, whenever you're ready.
All right. So Sibo in Star Wars Rebels, the Lobot-like computer-brained Rhodian who downloads all the Imperial files onto his brain at great personal risk and escapes, and the rebels find him, and he ends up having information, or might have information, on where Ezra's parents are and of their fate. This leads to a big emotional confrontation between him and Ezra. So even though he's only in Rebels for a couple episodes, I think he's a pretty interesting character. That's all the time.
All right, so Marie and Jarod, what are you thinking about this one? Ubla Mulbro or Sibo?
You know, I think for me, one of my criteria here is that the gluppier, the less you actually have to do with the story. And Jacob's actually does shit on screen, which means Ubla, who is a cutaway to just belting her heart out, to me, that is prime glup shitness. So I gotta defer to Maggie on this one, dog.
Fair enough.
Marie, do you have your opinion, or do you need a little more time?
No, so Sibo, you really feel for him because of what he goes through, and he's on the screen a bit more, but still he's very minor, and my heart goes out to him. I love Sibo, so yeah, I go with him.
So I will say, just before I say mine, I gotta say that Sibo, I do say, like, Sibo is one of those moments in Rebels I remember specifically for the first time, where that episode ends with Sibo knows what happened to Ezra Bridger's parents. That it was just like oh no, this is getting real fast. Yeah. However, I actually agree with Jarod on this one, as like the absolute randomness of Ubla Mulbro's going on this one. So I am going to vote to break the tie and put Ubla Mulbro to the next round. So Ubla Mulbro is going to the winner of our next round, which is wow, this is This is a matchup and a half. This is it is Marie and myself. Marie is arguing for Poplu, and I am arguing for Mayo and Madicor, my girl. All right, Marie, whenever you're ready.
Okay. So, of all the Ewoks that were helping the rebels, Poplu actually went out and stole a speeder bike and took several Imperials with him. He did such an amazing thing to help out the rebels, and it was super small, but that one little thing could have made all the difference.
It could have.
All right. Okay. Jacob, tell me.
Whenever you're ready.
All right.
Start
Okay.
I got no one's really going over, so it's fine.
The Galactic Republic. We don't really see a lot of the good old days of what the Galactic Republic was like before chaos and turmoil started reaping across the galaxy. One of the things we do see is Maya and Madicor and her co-pilot Antidar Williams on their ship, the Radiant 7, transporting Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan to the Trade Federation ship. Don't ask what happens to them afterwards. That's not important. But she represents the, average person loyal to the Republic, unaware that it's about to slip into a chasm that it's not going to get out of for decades at a time. Yeah.
That's
all right.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Eli, look, that's an amazing glove shitta. That's a deep cut. However, I am a sucker for Ewoks. I'm a huge fan of Ewoks and of Poplu especially. He's got real moxie. So I gotta go with Poplu for this one.
How these streams usually go, which is Jacob and I finding any excuse we can to vote against each other.
The petty war continues.
All right.
I gotta be true to my love for Ewoks, though. Sorry, Eli.
Honestly, Poplu's a difficult one to go up against. Maggie or Joe?
Yeah, I think excellent cases were made by both sides, but I'm in the same camp. When presented with Ewok or no Ewok, your girl's going Ewok.
Hard to argue with that.
I know that at this point my vote does not matter, but I do want the record to reflect that it is a shutout in the favor of Poplu. Poplu is a Glup Shido, is an exception that proves my rule. In that, if you are so relegated to the background and still do important shit to the plot, that enhances your Glup shittiness. So for me, it's got to be Poplu, because again, he does serve a vital role in the Battle of Endor, despite kind of blending into the menagerie of Ewoks. So it's Poplu all day.
All right, so Poplu advanced into 3-0 sleep. I would be more disappointed in this. Don't get me wrong. I love my own Madicor very dearly, but there are some that I'm going to be much more voracious about, and so those are coming. But next we have Maggie and Jacob yet again. We're looking at Princess Knisa and Numa. All right.
Okay.
Maggie, when you're ready.
Yeah, once again, I'm going to make the case for Ewok versus no Ewok. In this instance, we've got my girl, Princess Knisa, who we all know and love. Best friend to Wicket. And if you love Wicket, he's nothing without Knisa. She's brave. She's a leader. And she was the first female chief of her village. Because of her accomplishments, she succeeded her own father. And we stand a queen.
We do.
Girl boss Ewok.
Especially when she makes those gives all those offense up and never mind. Galaxy of Heroes joke. All right. Jacob, whenever you're ready.
All right, look. Ewoks are great. Ewoks are cute. But you know what else is awesome? A 5-year-old Twi'lek girl named Numa who forms an unlikely friendship during the Battle of Ryloth with 2 clone troopers, Spoil and Waxer, ends up helping take down the separatist occupation of Ryloth, only to years later reappear in Star Wars Rebels as one of Cham Syndulla's most trusted allies during the rebellion on Ryloth. what's not to love? She is so cool.
All right, 3 seconds to go. Very nicely done. This one's tricky. I legitimately did forget about Numa appearing in Rebels for a second. Which honestly, I think you might have even had a better case without bringing that up because of who she's working for and what they decide to do in that episode.
You got to do what you got to do. You got to bring down the Empire.
They do kind of like betray Hera and
Hey, look, for the record, she also helps recover Hera's Kalikori in season 3. So she is on good terms with Hera.
Never mind.
She is on good terms.
Okay, there we go. So that's at least good. Let's see. What am I going to let's see. What am I going to do for this one? Marie, Jarod, do either of you have a pin? I'm still thinking about this one.
Oh, I have my mind made up.
Go ahead.
Okay, so again, it's these little moments of, oh, hey, here's that character. You remember the one from that thing who did that? That is Numa. And it is the ability to make a Glup Shido, someone who fully meets that criteria of basically unnamed unless you're super sweaty and is just kind of off in her own world, who later kind of becomes relevant, but is set up as a background nobody. That is going to be a through line for all of my Glups. That is my pick here. I'm going Numa.
All right.
Yeah, I would have to go with Numa as well, just because I love it when a character seems like meaningless, or I mean, she was meaningful in that original episode in Clone Wars, but a character that doesn't seem like she's there for anything but that episode, and then it's like, oh, wait a second, here she is again, and she's even an adult now. Like, that's just too cool.
So if you look at the bracket right now, I already posted the result, and I'm sorry, Maggie, it's been a 3-0 sweep because there's that moment at the end of, I believe it's the second Rylith episode, where it's revealed what Numa is saying in the Twi'lek language and calling Boyle and Waxer Nera, which means brother, which causes me to cry so hard. Like, I think that just pushes Numa over the edge for me. But Maggie will have quite a few more chances, one of which, of course, is in this next round. Maggie is going up against Marie. We have two characters, two Glup Shidos, who are, I think, whose legacies on the Star Wars universe are, I would say, stained by tragedy. We have Mrs. Tyrell and Ula. I'm sorry for both of them because, you know. Maggie, whenever you're ready for this one.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned tragedy, because what is Star Wars if not tragedy? In the entirety of Star Wars, looking at tragedy in the Skywalker family, in the entire galaxy. But the best example of tragedy is that of Mrs. Tyrell, a woman who, holding her children, her newborn, watches her husband die in a pod race. And that's all we know about her. She doesn't even have a first name. And so, Kathleen, if you're hearing this, Story Group, if you're hearing that, say her name. Justice for Miss Tyrell.
Was it the only legend? I feel like there was like she made like a foundation. No. Her son made a foundation, the Rats Tyrell Foundation, to make pod racing safer after Rats' death in the Boon Team Classic. I remember reading that somewhere, and it was just like, yeah, absolutely.
That is too wholesome and fun for it to be legends. I say that with like my main dog in this fight primarily being a Legends character. That is way too good for it to be Legends.
It is Legends though. But
I'm stunned.
Marie with Ula, which
Yes. Okay. Ula is my girl. I love Ula. She kidnapped by Bib Fortuna as a gift for Jabba and got coerced into this situation where she's a dancer for Jabba. And she's doing her job. She's dancing. She doesn't want to be there. And then when Jabba tries to pull her towards him, She goes, and resists. She resists. Unfortunately, that led to her death, but I have in my heart that she sought revenge.
Wow, that is a tough choice. That is a tough choice. Two very, very interesting Glupshidos indeed. Shout out to Ula and the revenge in her heart, but I'm gonna go with Mrs. Tyrell. Going to have to go with Mrs. Tyrell and the Foundation.
So
I really want to know where that's from now. That is an outrageous detail.
So
someone
this
needs
was
to make
almost
merch stat.
certainly so this was almost certainly not come up with by George, but the fact that Rats Tyrell's wife and family were there watching a pod race when he got killed just sounds like a detail that George would put in there. He'd be like, it would be funny if one of them had like a wife and kids there and he died. But like that sounds like something George would do just to do his universe building world version of shit posting. And that is why I'm going with Mrs. Tyrell.
Jacob, you voted Mrs. Tyrell as well.
I voted Mrs. Tyrell.
See, I'm glad a decision has been made because I'm truly on the fence with this one. On one hand, I love the fact that Ula. I actually, when I was like a teenager, got to meet the lady who plays Ula at Steel City Con. Shouts out! I got to shake her hand. On one hand, I love that Ula, again unnamed within the film, doing her own thing. It's kind of a throwaway moment. She does in effect advance the plot. Because she leaves that spot open for Leia to take by Jabba's side. However, the sheer absurdity of everything Mrs. Tyrell represents is deeply, deeply funny on a very macabre level.
Taylor. Yep.
Femi Taylor, shouts out. I couldn't remember her name. But yeah, so a decision has already been made. So I rejoice in the fact that I don't actually have to make a call here.
So you're just not gonna do this?
I am abstaining from this vote. I am. I can't.
All right, Mrs. Tyrell moves on. Of course, we have one of the things I love about this bracket is truly, I feel like every one of these gets more and more absurd as we keep going, and that is the exact energy I want for this stream.
That's what we're here to do.
That's what we're here to do. We have finally stepping onto the stage is our own Dark Jedi. We have wait, let me make sure about that. Oh yeah, no, yeah. All right. Marie is repping for Elan Sleazebagano. And Jarod is repping our own Cowboy Jedi. Quinlan Voss.
Okay. So Elon Sleazebagano. What a name. Now I did see that apparently his name has now become Elon Celsabagno, but who cares? Forget about that name. Sleazebagano. Like, that is epic. And then he's a drug dealer in Star Wars. Like, what?
Bag.
It's so good. And like death sticks, and then the whole I want to go home and rethink my life. That's just, it's classic. It's like foreshadowing Obi-Wan in A New Hope.
All right, that is all the time you have, but I like to think he really did go home and rethink his life.
I think that is a Legends detail, actually. I think
got his stuff together, started doing something else.
I'm just beside myself that they changed his name from Sleazebag to Sells Bags. Because what's more Star Wars than naming your drug dealer Sells a Dime Bag?
Yeah, unbelievable.
No, and it was changed. It was changed from Sleazebag. And they would are we too on the nose for this? And of course, Star Wars can never ever be too on the nose.
No, so he sells a dime bag. We're gonna name him Sells Bag.
All right.
He's pushing P. Positive.
All right.
Young Thugs.
Whenever you're ready.
So Quinlan Voss is kind of the embodiment of like the platonic ideal of a Glup Shido. He is a background character in a blink and you miss it moment in the Phantom Menace, and then in both Legends and canon has been given this broad sweeping story of being a Jedi trapped in the thralls of fighting against the dark side within himself and also fighting for the greater good of the galaxy. He's a compelling character both across both continuities, who again begins as not even a Glup Shido Jedi. He's not in the background in the temple. He's not on the Jedi Council. He's on fucking Tatooine in the background. And then they took a grainy ass picture of some dude with yellow face tats and went, that is a whole ass Jedi Master who is going to brush with the dark side and try to kill Count fucking Dooku. Okay? Quinlan Vos has a whole story built from nothing.
Okay.
This one
I couldn't interrupt the rant. It was too good.
Is legitimately difficult for me.
It is. I feel like we have two ends of the spectrum on what a Glup Shido, can be.
Yeah. On one hand, I will say just my thought process very quickly, which is on one hand, Sleaze Bogano's scene is just so like it has legitimately nothing to do with anything going on. It's literally just guy walks up to Obi-Wan's like, "Hey, you want some drugs?" And Obi-Wan's like, "No."
That thing that happens in bars where random people go, "Hey, you want drugs? you want some space ecstasy in this bar right now?"
But Quinlan Vos, as you said, I think is like one of those classic examples of a Glup Shido. I'm not a huge I don't think I hate it as much as some people do. I think I'm not a huge fan of how they do him in the Clone Wars, but of course he has all that whole Legends backstory, and Dark Disciple as well. Jacob, Maggie, do either of you have a more solid opinion than me?
Maggie, if you have something, you can go because I will go if we keep it moving.
You're muted, by the way.
I can hear him.
It's a tough one.
No.
It's a tough one for sure. But for me, it's between just the iconicness of the lines and also the iconicness of the name. It's got to be Sleaze Bogano for me.
Okay. I'm gonna go. Let's make this interesting. I'm gonna say Quinlan Vos.
You're really leaving this up to me. Okay.
I do love Elon Sleaze Bogano. That's incredible. But you know what? No, fuck it. I'm sorry, Jarod. No. Sorry if I can't start the stream. I gotta go Sleaze Bogano. I love the name too much. I love Quinlan Vos, but as a Glup Shido, I'm sorry to do this, man. It was cruel of me to switch mid-spiel. I gotta go Sleaze Bogano. I gotta do it. I'm sorry.
I can't believe you let me dance.
I'm sorry.
You let me dance, and then
I can't believe you've done this.
I'm sorry.
I really had,
you son of a bitch.
I really wish I had the freaking I used to have it the Jarod I'm really sad clip from Bombad, but I don't have it anymore. Because that is the but I will say I'll give you now that it's not tiebreaking, I feel more comfortable.
Thanks for the pity vote, Eli. I appreciate it.
You're more comfortable giving Jarod the vote. I was having a tough time with this one. I think I probably would have come down on Quinlan anyway. But yeah, Sleaze Bogano increases, and now we have I think it's Marie and Jarod. No, Marie and I think it's Marie and Jacob actually is what it is.
Right.
Yeah, there we go. Marie is one of our two, and I'm totally not blaming you for this. I think the only way you can do this is by doing it this way, which is Marie and I both kind of quote unquote cheated with one of our entries because there's not one character, it's a few characters that you can't really do without the others. Marie is repping for Wadabin, Dodabin, and Thougtabin. Yes, those are real Star Wars characters that exist. And Jacob is repping for Malakili. All right. Marie, whenever you're ready.
Okay, so Wadabin, Dodabin, and Thotabin are Swearton brothers in Canto Bight, and you see them, it's like blink and you miss it, the camera's zooming in, and you see the three of them happy as can be, and then it goes right past them. But there's an entire novella in the Canto Bight collection of novellas that goes into their crazy day with Cal Jack Somni. And it is such a good story. And they're uncannily lucky. And they're just a hoot to spend time with.
Very cool.
All right. Jacob, when you're ready.
Malakili. Looks can be deceiving. He may have a gruff exterior, as does Patissa, his bestie, the Rancor, but he is a sweet and sensitive guy, and he loves deeply for this beast that he has to take care of. And he's heartbroken when Patissa is killed by Luke Skywalker. Neither of them deserve this. Also, it's okay to cry, and that to shed tears he does for his friend the Rancor.
I will say this for so I'll be the first to cast my vote for this one. In a move that's unprecedented for me when Jacob's on the field. Jacob, Malakili isn't even the best Rancor keeper we see in the saga. Just by the fact that he's not Danny just by the fact that he's not Danny Trejo. I'm sorry.
Okay, fair enough. Fine.
So I'm going with Wadabin, Donovan, and Thotabin.
Okay.
I'm going for Wadabin, Donovan, and Thotabin just for the names alone because those are just such fantastic names. Also, they look like little frogs, and that's really funny.
Can't argue with that. Yeah.
Eli, you're right. The names are great, and I wish I could vote for woulda, coulda, shoulda. However, Malakili, that is a god tier glub shitto right there. Within just in seconds, he's sobbing. There's so much emotion there. You get that grungy guitar out of nowhere while he's weeping over Patissa. It's just the whole scene is just framed to be about glup shittiness. So I gotta go Malakili.
Yeah, love being the tiebreaker. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna go with Malakili. It's just the ability to know so little about a character, but from what you see about them, you are immediately with them emotionally. It's the glup shitto of it all for me.
What a match we have coming up. This is maybe one of my favorite first round matches. It's absolutely insane. Marie is repping everybody's favorite singer murderer, Spice Noodles.
What?
Oh.
No.
That's me. I'm representing.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry about that. All right. Maggie is representing everybody's favorite singer murderer, Spice Noodles.
I'm ready. Listen, our girl has had quite a year. Fantastic short story from friend of the pod, Kristen Bamer. Highly recommend. We love her. We know her many iterations. She has evolved with the series within the same movie, even with, of course, originally being a puppet and then eventually getting hit with the CG. The lead singer of the band. Everyone loves her. And I think it's important to note that besides Leia, she was the second woman to get her own action figure in all of Star Wars.
Really?
She's so built into the mythos of the galaxy. And to me, she's what a glup shitto can be if enough people stand behind them.
All right. And Jarod is repping maybe one of the greatest named characters of all time in Star Wars, Jedi Master Amagundai. Whenever you're ready.
Oh man.
Listen, in the pantheon of Star Wars, the Clone Wars characters, so many of them are one and done. And by that, I mean they fucking die. And there are a few people who they just go mask off with as much as I'm a gun die. We're talking about Sleaze Bagano. I'm a sell a dime bag. Let's talk about this guy who y'all knew what was happening to him the moment you saw him. But on top of that, he fights valiantly for the Twi'leks. He gives his life in the line of duty the way a Jedi is meant to, selflessly, without a moment's hesitation. He is, again, in this small amount of time we get for him, put so much heart, so much soul on the table, and has just made an S tier Glub Shido because we get so much out of him despite having so little time to spend with this selfless hero. I yield my time.
I will. If I can, I will go. I will go first on this one because I'm pretty confident about this one. If Sai only appeared in Return of the Jedi, then Jedi Master Dai would win this for me handily. But it's Hunt for Zero that flips it for me in Sai's favor because of the absolute batshit insanity that is that episode, and her relationship with Zero. You
got to leave me content for future rounds.
Yeah, I just want to say that from the bottom of my fluid sack, it's maybe one of the greatest lines ever spoken in Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
It is.
Wow. Okay, going for the meme over the war hero. Okay.
This is very tough. This is very
He
tough.
said
I'm not
wearing
gonna.
a shirt with Sice Noodles on it.
You know, I love both these characters. I think Size Noodles is fantastic. I won't take away any potential future round content, but her moment with Zero in the Clone Wars, especially when you're like, whoa, she's serious. She means business, you know, and that I love that. However, my vote, I'm gonna have to go with I'm a Gun Die. In terms of Glup Shido-y names, that is the shittiest of the Shidos. And I love that scene. I love his the way he puts it all on the line, and he sacrifices himself, and the last thing that he sees are the two Pelta class Republic freight transports zooming overhead, having broken the blockade as he's held off the droids for long enough to get the Twi'leks their supplies to keep the fight going. So, you know, I really hard to pick. It could go either way, but I'll go with I'm a Gun Die on this one.
All right, Marie, you're our tiebreaker.
Okay. Well, there's so many things I could say, but I will leave for future rounds because I'm totally going with Sice Noodles.
All right, Sai advances. Now we have maybe one of the rounds I've been looking most forward to. All right, let's do this, buddy.
Oh, okay.
I'll time you. Go whenever you feel like it for
All right.
Maketh Tua.
Maketh Tua. All right. She's from Star Wars Rebels, a graduate of the Imperial Academy, a straight shooter, Minister of Lothal under Governor Price, has the hapless misfortune to oversee Lothal during this period of upheaval. She's not a true villain, though. She's a cog in the machine. She thinks that she's great. She's haughty. She's on her high horse, but in the end, she defects to the rebellion because she fears for her life, only to be sacrificed in Darth Vader's trap. A tragic story, but a very interesting character nonetheless. One season only. One season and one episode of season 2, but
Jacob,
yes,
you got the time already?
whenever you're ready.
All right, let me tell you all about Ochi of Festoon. We have the mystery finally being solved of who killed Rey's parents, being this clumsy-ass, stupid idiot who, like, waddles his way around the Star Wars universe, somehow getting things done because he is just that effective while being just this clumsy idiot. He's the main villain of one of the greatest Star Wars books of all time, Shadow of the Sith. He is my personal Glup Shido. He is just this weird, wacky glimpse into another side of the universe that we hadn't seen, and that is why he's my Glup Shido.
Eli, do you think about him when you fall asleep and when you wake up every morning?
I wouldn't go that far, but I was no offense to Maketh Tua, but I was looking forward to this because I have high hopes for my boy. My boy.
Okay, fair enough. We know how much you love. Anyone who is around Eli knows his profound love for
my
Ochi
Twitter
Festoon,
handle is
and
OchiFan327. Okay,
I can't say anything to take that away from him. So good for you, Eli. That is all I will say. We all have our own Ochi of Festoon. So
absolutely,
the floor is open.
So again, Ochi is one of those instances where, again, I think one of the best things about a Glup Shadow is that you can have a Star Wars character on screen who you know next to nothing about, who does next to nothing, and have a rich history for them in expanded media. And Ochi of Bestoon is the ultimate bumblefuck who reaches that zenith. I gotta go Ochi of Bestoon.
Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, not to get repetitive because there's a lot of Ochi love in the room, but I really feel like it would be unfair not to advance Ochi to hear more in future rounds.
Yeah, I absolutely, like, when I saw Ochi on this list, I got really excited. So he is a hoot. He's so funny in the comics. I love him. So Ochi.
Legitimately, I bought I started subscribing to the Darth Vader comic just so I could get more Ochi.
It's so good.
It legitimately, I will save that for another round, actually. I will save that for another round. Although, looks like next round I might need it because I'm going up against somebody that I voted for, so it'll be fun. We have, speaking of bumblefucks, what a next round we have. And I'm specifically talking about one of these characters.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was.
And Maggie, Jarod, tell us about a dinosaur man, Coleman Trevor.
All right, y'all, listen. I have always referred to Coleman Trevor as the Force's favorite idiot. And here's why. A PR guy appointed to the Jedi High Council with 360-degree vision, master of Sarisu, Form 3 of lightsaber combat, dedicated to defense and blaster deflection, took it upon himself to end the Clone War before it began by going, you know what? I'm going to whack Count Dooku myself. You're going to notice a pattern here, folks. There's a lot of trying to whack Count Dooku. But he goes up there with all of the bravery you'd expect from a Jedi Master, draws his saber on the greatest duelist of that era, and gets shot in the chest 3 times at point blank range and falls to his death. That scene serves no purpose other than to be a sight gag of watching a motherfucker fall to his death. I'm sorry.
You're good. Can't let you go over every time.
You're good. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. Maggie, tell us about Bazine Natal.
I want to take you back to when we still knew very little about The Force Awakens. What we did have was this Vanity Fair article featuring characters that we would come to know and love. We've got Rey. We've got
Prop. Wow.
Yeah, we've got Finn, and we've got other characters that we already knew and loved, and we've also got these guys. And I think the fact that Bazine Natal is so visually cool looking that they threw her in there. At the time, she could be another main character, and we didn't know that. We just knew how fucking awesome her costume was. And then in the end, she just turned out to be a Glup Shadow. And I just love the journey that they took us on with that. I also think that this should be me and Brandon's Halloween costume. And so if you're listening, I would appreciate everyone going and tweeting at Talking Bay 94 a picture of Bazine Natal. And
Grumgar.
Yep, that should be our Halloween costume.
That would be legitimately hilarious. I would love that. All right. I'm still listening. I'm just gonna quickly go to refill my glass of water. Jacob and Marie, if you have thoughts, I'm still trying to think of mine.
This is a real tough one. These are two great Glup Shadows. Man, that is difficult. You know, oh, man. You know, since all else being equal, Coleman Trevor is fantastic. Man, Maggie, you did bring out the actual magazine, so that's got to count for something as well. That was impressive that we had the
you don't have
the
that
visual aid and the historical look. Oh man, Coleman Trevor for me. Dinosaur Jedi. You know, I was a huge dinosaur kid, so I just feel connected to this giant green lizard that tries to whack Count Dooku and goes out in the most anticlimactic, awful way possible.
I also have to go with the horse's favorite idiot.
I want to make it clear right now, even if I'm winning this round, I'm tweeting at Brandon right now.
I would have gone with Bazine Natal because Perfect Weapon is a crazy story.
Oh yeah,
and
awesome.
The fact that she fights off these crazy bee monsters is just really cool. So, tier.
Women supporting.
So, for 2 rounds in a row,
Oh man,
we get, of course, Jacob and I going up against each other. This one is a crazy round. Jacob, whenever you're ready, talk about Raran Karab.
Iran Karab. Okay. Listen. He's from the Tartakovsky Clone Wars. He's an Ithorian Jedi. Okay, look, I'm sick and tired of Ithorians being meek and mild-mannered. Even the Ithorian bounty hunter we see, he gets popped by Cad Bane just so he can take his hat. No more. Raran Karab is awesome. He's badass. He fights Grievous. He's mastered the Force. He's mastered the Blade. His Ithorian war cry can destroy legions of battle droids. Look him up if you look. If he is so freaking sick, and I love him so much. Raran Karab for life. I'm passionate about Raran Karab.
Well, you got to start my timer soon because
All right, whenever you're ready.
Let me tell you about Emir Wat Tambor, a guy who named his own son Wat Tambor II. That is true. He thought the name was so good he did it twice. He is this half robot Cohen weirdo guy who runs the Techno Union. It's weird because he also runs techno music through those little volume knobs of his. This is just this weird little guy in the background of Attack of the Clones who then appears in Revenge of the Sith, slaughtered by Vader, and then they make into somewhat of a character later on.
Listen, I love Wat Tambor and his little nipple dials as much as the next guy. But as someone who considers himself a friend of the Ithorian people, Ionized Bastards on the All Remaining Systems YouTube channel.
I was wondering what you were gonna bring up.
If you want to not meek Ithorian, let me tell you, we got what you need. I gotta go with my boy here. You know, that's one of my favorite moments in Tartakovsky Clone Wars. Watching that Ithorian Bello rip that place apart. I gotta go with Jacob here.
The Techno Union. Anyway, I just need to say that just in case I don't get to say that. I just need to say the Techno Union. Yeah.
You gotta get his knobs under control, man.
I'm gonna go.
You've got to get. All right, Marie for the tiebreak.
Wat Tambor, because that man is really, really creepy.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what with the comeback. All right.
Boo that joke. Everybody, boo this man.
All right, we have. Oh wait, actually, this is not Jacob and me. This is actually Jarod and myself. Jarod is going to be talking about.
I've been waiting for this for a long time.
Yeah, I think this is his OG Festoon round for me, and I honestly don't mind losing. Go ahead, Jarod. Talk about Sora Bulk.
Oh, thank you. Sora Bulk is a Jedi Master who helped Mace Windu develop his personal fighting style of Vapad, the 7th form of lightsaber combat adapted for Jedi philosophy. He has 2 seconds of screen time in Attack of the Clones, and in Legends is depicted as a Jedi who was abducted by the Separatist Alliance after being sent on an assassination mission to kill Count Dooku, and in that time is radicalized with his deep fascination with the dark side being used against him, where he becomes Count Dooku's lead bodyguard and becomes the arch rival of Quinlan Vos in Legends, and he's an amazing lightsaber duelist. 3 seconds of screen time.
Incredible. Eli, whenever you're ready.
So, what do pit droids started controlling this giant, like, Wizard of Oz style contraption of this guy named Albie Diwa to frighten anybody who came into the battle match system. This is an actual thing that happens in the Star Wars, the Clone Wars episode Nomad Droids, until R2-D2 gets into the pit droid's hideout and blows that fucker up, leaving one of the pit droids controlling Albie Diwa, screaming, "No, my glorious empire is tumbling." I think that's all you need.
I'll go ahead. Albie Diwa, that whole episode, Nomad Droids, is prime television. Like, it is so good.
It's Star Wars the Clone Wars on shrooms, and I love it.
It's so good. And that the whole pit droid Wizard of Oz, it's him all day.
I gotta go with Sora Bulk. I'm not vibing with Nomad Droids. It's just too much. But yeah, Sora Bulk.
Your point
Sora
of
Bulk's
Nomad
pretty
Droids
cool.
is to be too much, Jacob.
All right, tiebreaker. Going Albie.
Oh no!
I staked
Jarod
my
has-
whole strategy on Sora Bulk tonight.
Jarod, you will have another chance. You will
I
have
put
another
all my
chance.
chips on Sora Bulk.
You will have more chances, including against Jacob here.
I'm right there with you.
I've made a severe miscalculation here tonight.
Jacob, I have one question to ask you before you begin yours. Where is 224?
224.
Let's
If you are
go.
not familiar with the Battle Droid Commander 224, I suggest you rewatch Ambush from Season 1 of the Clone Wars. Brave OOM Commander Droid had the misfortune to serve under Asajj Ventress against Grandmaster Yoda on the Coral Moon of Rugasa in the Clone Wars. While pursuing Yoda and the clones, he commanded his squadron of AAT tanks to stop. The tanks were too large to fit through the Coral Forest. Another droid tried to drive his tank through anyway. It didn't work. 224 proved once again his superior intellect, tactical knowledge, best programming in the game. He boldly led his battalion against the Jedi, but he was no match for Master Yoda, and he bravely sacrificed himself for the Separatist cause.
All right.
Iconic last words, but I just got promoted.
Anyone who lost to Yoda deserves to lose, period.
Really? Okay. Anyway, I was
surly now.
going towards voting for you, Jarod. Anyway, go ahead, Cinderella.
Oh, yes. So Sindralik was a Jedi Battlemaster during the time of the Clone Wars, played iconically by Nick Gillard, the stunt coordinator of the prequel trilogy, who choreographed all of those legendary fight scenes. He stood fast against the attack of the 501st Legion during Operation Nightfall and went down fighting Darth Vader himself in the halls of the temple. He laid down his life to protect his students. And he shows up briefly in the Clone Wars as well, which is really cool. Again, played by Nick Gillard. I think that's a layup on its own.
So I got to agree with Jarod for this one, just because I just got him promoted is one of my favorite jokes in the Clone Wars. It is one joke. Not Nick Gillard. Sindralik is a character who, he's played by Nick Gillard. He's played by the stunt guy. He's the Jedi Battlemaster. There's tons of stuff to get into there. 224 is a battle droid that makes a funny joke.
I'd like to see you go up against Yoda, Eli.
Yeah, well,
he'd bow down and go, "I am not worthy," immediately.
as opposed to what Jarod might think, I'd like to see many people go up against Yoda. 99.9% won't survive past a minute, but okay. Maggie Murray.
I'm a sucker for a funny joke. That's what Glub Shido is to me. I'm going battle droid.
Yeah,
224.
I completely agree. But I just got promoted. It may just be one joke, but it's a really good joke. So I think
Good joke.
that
Yes.
224.
224.
My
This
whole
Battle
list
Droid
is falling
Society.
apart. My
This
whole
is-
list
Yes.
is falling
This
apart.
is a bad round for Jarod, and unfortunately, it's not looking good continuing for him because I have my other
I'm
guy.
currently getting shut out right now. Am I not?
This is the last one I think of yours, and
Oh,
I'm gonna fight like hell for this one. All right, Jacob.
All right,
Can I
whenever
do
you're
this?
ready.
The
Whenever
elevator
you're ready.
door opens. The elevator door opens. Don't worry, kid. Everything's gonna be all right. Keller and Beck steps through. The exact last person who you expected to step through the doors in The Mandalorian is Ahmed fucking Best in a Jedi robe, who quickly proves why his nickname is the Saber Hand from that one YouTube kids show that not many people watched, and now is a canon character in Star Wars who helped save Grogu, one of the main characters from The Mandalorian, from Order 66. Like, what the hell is this ascension? All right.
Jarod, whenever you're ready.
Saisi Tin, the Itachi Jedi Master who's featured throughout the prequel trilogy, has like 2 lines of dialogue in the Clone Wars, which is saying a lot because a lot of Jedi get a lot of play. Saisi Tin, across Legends and canon, does not have a whole lot going on for him other than the fact that he looks cool. Keller and Beck is way too integral to the plot of Star Wars to be considered a glup shitto. Okay, maybe once upon a time in the days of Jedi Temple Challenge, you could call this man a glup shitto. This man saved the series poster child from certain death. Saisi Tin does nothing but looks cool in Tartakovsky Clone Wars when he leads an attack in space.
I'll get this out of the way. I'm all in with CEC 10. I think he's super cool. I've always loved his design. I think I had a CEC 10 Lego minifigure that I really liked when I was younger. So me and CEC 10, we go back. We go back.
I think this would have been a different conversation a couple years ago. But for me, like, saving media darling Baby Yoda, it pulls someone out of the glup shitto realm. So it's Stacey for me.
I mean, yeah, I mean, so I would just say that the way that Stacey 10 dies is pretty cool. Like that's really intense. But I would have gone with Keller and Beck just because that was a mind-blowing moment.
How to save a life. My one duty was to get Ochi and Keller and Best round 1.
Hey, you got Ochi. That's the main thing.
I have so much love in my heart for Keller and Beck.
Yeah, no, make no mistake. We love Keller and Beck.
No, I know. I do agree with, like, I think Kelleran is pushing it for being a glove show, but I'd still say he appears in one episode of The Mandalorian, but whatever. I think that's it for no.
Grand Moff Tarkin a glup shitto. He's only in one movie. Really.
he's in one movie he's in 3 actually. No wait, no 2. No, he's in 2. You're right. No 3. Yeah, no 3. Rogue One.
Rogue One and A New Hope.
And Sith.
Revenge of the Sith, right.
That I want everybody to know that's your average episode of Epic Confrontations of, I have a definitive answer for this. Oh, wait, I don't. Oh, wait, let me get bullied back into my answer.
Yep, anyway.
I'm throwing a hissy fit now. I have no idea how I lost 5 out of 6 of my characters in round 1. I am being canceled by the woke mob.
I'm being canceled by the woke. All right, next we have Jacob and Marie. What characters do we have here? Yes. Okay, so first Alex Damon is going to infest his spirit is going to infest the body of Jacob because we're doing Big Star Collider. Go ahead.
Okay, Big Star Collider. Red 3, Hero of the Rebellion. Originally, he had a larger role in A New Hope in the deleted scenes in terms of introducing Luke to the Rebellion, their childhood friendship. They run into each other outside of Tashi Station, and Biggs says to Luke, "I'm joining the Rebellion. This is something worth fighting for." But Luke says, "I can't leave. I have to stay on his uncle's farm." I think it just makes the rest of the movie, their reunion, Biggs' death, that much more poignant and bittersweet. And I think Biggs is just a cool dude. He's a viber. We love Biggs in this house. What can I say?
All right. Marie, whenever we're ready.
Who am I?
Therm Scissor Punch.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I can't
Okay. Thermoculus Crescent Volt Scissor Punch. What a name. And this guy is just a giant lobster dude. Like, he is fantastic. He's got yes, a sharpened shank implanted in his claw. So he's ready to just kind of, I mean, not only does he have those giant claws, but he's got a shank in there too. He's vicious and scary and might just clip your head off. But all he does is sit there and plays Sabak.
And he's also,
I mean, isn't that the essence of what a Glup Shido is?
I also hear now he's in the higher public as well. So that's crazy. Jacob, I hate to do what I always do, but Biggs is a wonderful character. His name is Scissor Punch.
I can't. Right, I can't
How do
argue
you vote
with that.
against
I
a
can't
character
compete
named
with that.
Scissor Punch.
I can't. I don't care. Therm Scissor Punch for the win. That's just beautiful. It's just poetic. What you know?
Like at least for this round.
I can't even be mad. I can't be mad about this.
Scissor Punch. Jarod,
There's
Maggie?
nothing Glup shittier than that.
Yeah. I mean, do y'all remember when Scissor Punch had his own trading card at Denny's? The wild.
I was just about to say, yes. I did not like Denny's until Solo: A Star Wars Story. Okay? At which point I became a regular Denny's enthusiast because I wanted a Childish Landino cup and a Therm Scissor Punch trading card. And I got my Therm Scissor Punch trading card, and I love Therm Scissor Punch. That's a Glup shitty name if I ever heard it. Therm all day. He's going to take out Seisi 10. I've made peace with that. I better go out to Therm. That's all I want.
So, here we go. This is the penultimate matchup in 32 brackets before we go into 16 and all that kind of stuff. Maggie is going to be defending the vicious bounty hunter Aura Singh, star of one of the stories in today's Star Wars Revelations, which was very good, by the way. I'm very excited for that. Go ahead, Aura Singh.
I would actually like to go back to the beginning of Aura Singh. This one's for the prequel kids. If you're a prequel kid, you know. Because what is a Glup Shido? To me, a Glup Shido is a girl standing on a ledge for like 5 seconds. And you see what that becomes. You see the devotion that comes out for this character that you think is going to become something, but it's not, but then it does. We've got all these spin-off stories. We've got a Hasbro masterpiece. Do you know who else had a Hasbro masterpiece? C-3PO and Anakin fucking Skywalker. That journey from girl on a ledge to Hasbro fucking masterpiece is like what every Glup Shido should aspire to be.
Hard to argue with that.
All right,
now Eli, whenever you're ready.
The oldest and wisest of the Night Sisters, Old Daka, is one of those characters. Again, she appears in one episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. One episode. And yet she introduces us to most of the Night Sister magic we know. The chant of resurrection before being brutally stabbed by Grievous. But still, she leaves such an impact by doing one ritual in one episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I rest my case for my girl, Old Daka. Also, she can revive Night Sisters and Galaxy Heroes. Yeah.
Oof. Now, this is another difficult choice. Old Daka is a great Glup Shido, but you know, like Maggie, like you said, I think from girl on a ledge to everything that Aura Singh is now, all the little bits and pieces she puts together in the Clone Wars, all her pop-up moments, I got to go with Aura Singh on this one.
You know, I gotta say, and I don't like doing the whole "it was better in Legends" thing because I think it's productive most of the time. I like Aura in the Legends continuity much more than I like her in the current one, just because she's an ex-Jedi and is a Force-sensitive Jedi hunter, and I like shit like that. However, Jarod, don't dance with Night Sisters. that aren't named Marin. So I got too much static with old Daka, mostly because of Galaxy of Heroes, if I'm being honest. And Aura is that bitch, has been that bitch, and will continue to be that bitch. I'm going Aura Singh.
I would have gone with old Daka just because the character design is incredible. Just
So,
for starters.
I avoided saying this, and now I can say this because I don't have to keep concealing it from Jarod. But it's actually pretty fitting that you voted for against old Daka, because I do consider her as the Yoda of the Night Sisters.
I hate you so much. I want to fight you in a Denny's parking lot and then eat a blaster fire burger and drink whatever the cinnamon milkshake was that they released for Solo, because that shit slapped too.
All right, here we go.
I can't believe I missed this whole Denny's promo wave. Gosh.
So, Marie, go with our final round one matchup, Jira.
Okay. One line. Storm's coming up, Annie. You better get home quick. Like, whoa. That is just so good. It's just one simple line. And she doesn't just sell fruit. She sells pallies, which is some kind of fruit. And it's just weird. And she's such a simple character, but she gets them all to get going away from the storm where they end up together. So.
All right. Eli, whenever you're ready.
They appear in 3 episodes of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. And yet, you could argue they appear in all of Star Wars. They're the beginning, the middle, and the end. They are the ones. The father, the son, the daughter, avatars of the two sides of the Force and the balance between them. Meticulously acted by Adrian Wilkinson and Sam Witwer, and the father actor in who I forget right now, Lloyd Sher. They lead a beautiful arc about Mortis and are pretty much never seen again other than in artwork. Yeah.
All right. I'll go first.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I just realized I screwed myself because there's no way Jacob's vote. Jacob hates the ones. Shoot.
I'm going to go with Jira. You know, I'm not a fan of the ones. Maybe my least favorite episodes of the Clone Wars. But, you know, Jira as well.
You did not just
amazing Glup Shido. Very well selected, Marie. You have my vote.
Listen, if Keller and Beck was not an egregious extension and stretch on the term Glup Shido, the Force gods who redefined how the Force works is kind of a tough sell, buddy. They're weird, they're obscure, but I don't think you can compare, you know, Storm's coming in, you got to get home quick. I thought she had a second line. I thought she said, I feel it in my bones, but maybe I'm making that up.
My bones are aching.
My bones are aching. Okay, she does say, but I was like, I fully assumed I hallucinated that. No, I mean, she puts Qui-Gon and Anakin in the same room. She is a Glup Shido. 99% of people could not tell you her name. And the Mortis gods are so important to the cosmology of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I gotta go Jira. I gotta go Jira. Easy.
Maggie?
Also going Jira.
Jarod, let's talk about this being rigged against you when you and I have the exact same number of contestants going to the next round. And that is true.
It happens every time I'm on this YouTube channel. There's always some fuck shit where this game is built against me.
You had the most impressive first, like in the win of the other brackets. You had the most impressive first round win of all of them, because you got not only first place but second place. So that's factually not true. Anyway,
and I'm being punished for excellence.
Being punished for excellence. Okay. Next, we're going into round 2. Ubla Mulbro and Poplu. Maggie and Marie. What a matchup we have here. All right, Jacob. get it started.
All right. Maggie, you can kick us off whenever you're ready. I got your timer.
Alrighty. Taking us back to Ubla. Again, you have so many qualities that I think anyone would look for in a Glove Shadow. It's a background character who just has one little moment that sings and is covered in eggs, is literally physically made up of eggs. And so actually the reason that she was even at the casino was because she was looking for a hatching partner. So she is a woman who is single and ready to mingle. And if that doesn't match the energy of Canto Bite Elite, what does,
Fair enough. All right, Marie, hit us with it whenever you're ready.
So Paploo is not only a fantastic individual Ewok, but he's portrayed by Kenny Baker, which is super cool in its own right. And this little Ewok, how there's so many of them, but they're differentiated, and he has his own little perfect thing that he does. And I just love Paploo.
All right. So this,
by the way, Jarod, I just realized that's the thing I said about not having as many as you. That's actually not true.
Yeah, I know it wasn't. No,
I am too.
Listen, these are the two. They're not the two, but they're pretty far apart in the spectrum of Glub Shadow, right? You have hilarious implications. You have this egg lady opera singer who's here to find love, in this opulent shithole on Cantonica, right? And then you have a within the narrative unnamed kind of background character who helps turn the tide of the Battle of Endor. For me, I think I'm going with my gut here. I got to go Paploo because I love unnamed, kind of not super relevant, but turns the tide of the battle and the cosmology of Star Wars. So I'm going Paploo.
All right. I'm going to keep it interesting. I'm going to cast my vote for Ubla Marlboro. Just so a character, a design, everything just so outrageous. How can you not love it? Fitting right in on Canto Bite.
All right, sorry. I've been trying to update our bracket list for the stream, and I also realized, Jarod, you also don't have one left. You have two left, but okay.
Oh, you have two left? Who did I
Coleman
get?
And Saisi.
Oh, I did get Coleman. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
And I also have three left. But anyway, point is, Ubla and Paploo. What, as Jarod said, what incredibly contrasting Glub Shadows that have yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for Maggie, I think you're unfortunately something you said is gonna be your own downfall here. Going for Ewok or non-Ewok. Choose the Ewok. This guy was like, okay, let me steal a speeder bike. That'll be fun. Let's just do it for the memes. And I respect that. I respect that an immense amount. So, Paploo is moving on to round 3. Next we have Maggie's staying on, but now it's Jacob. Maggie is arguing for Miss Tyrell, but first let's hear Jacob's argument for Numa. All right.
Okay. Numa, look. Numa is one of those characters as a Glub Shadow where she has her appearance and then she reappears when you least expect it. When we first see her, she's this pretty helpless small child. She's upset, she's crying. She's got her little squeaky toy, the Tuca doll. The symbol in the Clone Wars, I guess, of childhood innocence. We see it quite a few times. And then she becomes a freaking badass in Rebels, like out of nowhere.
Okay. Now, Mrs. Tyrell, Maggie.
Pod racing. Everyone loves pod racing, right? What a fun sport. Wrong. You know who hates pod racing? The Tyrells. Why? because they lost their father, their husband, their patriarch. And so, yeah, you've got the whole galaxy. They're worried about Death Stars. They're worried about empires and Siths coming and going. But no, the Tyrells are just nursing heartache. I was able to confirm in between rounds that, in fact, Mrs. Tyrell's son did go on to found the Rats Tyrell Foundation, where the goal is to not just reform pod racing, obliterate, outlaw pod racing.
Wow.
It's dangerous. And the surviving matriarch, I think, deserves our respect for the part that these families, they're just trying to live their lives in this galaxy far, far away. I mean, what is the point of all of this if not to persevere these families and these stories?
Jacob, I swear I'm not taking pleasure in this, except for the parts where I am.
I know you're taking. It's okay, Eli. You can take pleasure in this.
Look what she said. Like it's taken so much. Like it's the pod racing is taken so much. You know, I gotta vote for Miss Tyrell.
Marie, do you have one in the chamber?
I will just say that I think if Mrs. Tyrell had been in more than just a deleted scene, then I would lean that way. But Numa shows up a bit more. I know it's the Glup Shido thing, but like she is a character that we think is one and done, and then she's not. But she's still one and like it doesn't go on forever. So I still think Numa.
Jarod, you're a tiebreaker.
Eli, can you full screen me, big dog? The greatest evil the galaxy has ever seen is not the dark side.
I know exactly what he's doing.
It's not the Empire. It's not the First Order. It's not the Sith. It's neoliberal capitalism. And the evils of neoliberal capitalism claim the life of Rax Tyrell. Seeing the little guy and the independent pod racing scene on Tatooine and the grieving family he leaves behind after being viciously killed in this inhumane, psychotic blood sport, that is a Star Wars story nearly as poignant as, I'm sorry, frankly, more poignant than anything we see in Andor.
Some might say
that Rax Tyrell is better than Andor. There was one way out, and it was taking apart the capitalist system that ran rampant with zero regulation on the world of Tatooine. And it is basically in the Avengers of the Tyrell family. I vote Mrs. Tyrell.
Basically, I just want to say that Rats died, and then Miss Tyrell was like,
or as I like to say, guess I'll go fuck myself.
I had to make a conscious decision not to take a sip because I was like, I know what's about to play, and I'm gonna spit.
All right, Miss Tyrell moves on. Now, Elon and Malakili. That is, we have Marie and Jacob. Let me switch.
Not Elon.
Unfortunately, Elon.
All right.
Marie. Okay. So, first off, this dude has the best hairdo in the world. Like, it is hyper 80s hair. It is fabulous. And he has antenna palps. So, he's a pretty cool dude, I would say.
Fair enough.
All right, Jacob for Malakili.
How does the art of filmmaking touch our hearts and our emotions? Nothing idealizes this more than Malakili. We only see him for 1 minute, but we're crying with him. We're hurting with him. We see in his face, in his body and his broken sobbing, we see so much humanity and grief for Patissa. R.I.P. Patissa.
So, Jarod, Maggie, I'll pass it to you, seeing as my vote is going to Mr. Sleaze Pagano.
Maggie, you have the floor first. I believe
You're muted.
You may be muted.
Sorry, I'm back. I mean, Sleaze Pagano is a fantastic name, and there's so much to love there. But I think anyone who's ever known and loved and cared for an animal, if your heart just isn't with Malakili 100% of the time, then there's something wrong with you.
Maggie, you make such a good point. There was a conversation being had in a group chat I'm in not too long ago about the mortality of the critters that we bond to. And I had to fully detach myself from that conversation, because if I think about that shit for too long, I get a level of depressed that I can't quite quantify when I think about the little critters that we love so much passing on into the netherworld of the Force.
Stop.
And while exactly, that's my point. And while Malakili does represent that so fully, so beautifully, and he represents just the institution of the Glupshido. Listen, Jabba's palace. I made a joke about it earlier. I'm wearing a Roosevelt right now called Palace Pals, and it is just nothing but all the weird motherfuckers that are in the background of Return of the Jedi. Okay, and it's beautiful stuff. And Malakili might be king among them. However, Elon sell a dime bag rocketed up my list when I found out about his new name. Revealing that piece of information may have tipped the balance for the continuance of this stream, because I am now aware of the fact that his name is somehow even funnier. Malakili makes me sad. There's something funny about drug dealers in Star Wars.
All right, Sleaze Pagano gets.
We're pushing P, baby. We're pushing P.
All right, here we go. This is, I think, it's going to be a consequential one. Maggie, go ahead first. Size noodles.
I think something important to understand about me is the trope that I'm always very drawn to in the background is that of the background cabaret singer. In any movie, any scene, like that's where I'm going. And there's so much like weightiness to it. There's like a mystery that's usually all you see about them. Thankfully, we've gotten to learn more about Sai over time. And I think that she confirms everything that I want to know about a cabaret singer. She is she's a part-time bounty hunter. She's a spy. She killed her lover. That is everything that I want to be true about every cabaret singer, and Sai really comes through for us.
All right. Okay. Let me give you a rundown of some of the stupidest shit that Opshia Festoon has done. This guy went on to planet Malathon 9 to murder Depa Bilaba, and then instead gets jumped by her master, one of the greatest Jedi masters at that period, Mace Windu, instead, missing out on both kills, going in to kill one Jedi, leaving not having killed either of them. There's also the time where he mistakenly called somebody Balance and didn't correct them because who cares? Honestly, just Malathon 9 is just funny.
I'm casting my vote. I'm voting for Size Noodles. She's awesome. I love the twist with Zero the Hutt. You know, I think that she as a character, you know, is just she's just a blast. Yeah, I'm going with the lead singer with some dark secrets and a strange Hutt relationship.
This one's tough. This one's really tough. With Size Noodles, you have a really weird looking character who dated a Hutt. That's just like what
Don't
That
think
in
about for that
itself
too long.
is
Do
crazy.
not.
And then Ochi, it's just fantastic. But if I think about the name, Ochi of Bestoon, that's, pretty normal name. Sice Noodles, that's pretty legit. I think, unfortunately, and I mean unfortunately because I love Ochi, I'm going to have to go with Sice Noodles.
Listen, I do want to make the record clear that I'm OG of Bestoon. I love Sai. I love her film noir thing she has going on in the Clone Wars. Maggie, absolutely goated pick. I have to make that clear. I want to make sure Sai gets her flowers. And she already won the round, so she's gotten her flowers.
I will say, if Ochi was to fall to anybody, honestly, like, that was not one of my characters.
But, like,
honestly, I can't think of many. I can't think of many other better characters than Sice Noodles for him to fall to, honestly.
But when we're talking about people getting their flowers, I got to give Butthole Eyes of Bestoon his flowers, too. Okay? Again, he is the quintessential Star Wars bumblefuck villain. Okay? He's so fun to watch. And again, one of my favorite things about a Glub Shido, and it's something that, like, people talk about a lot with Star Wars, and it is true. We haven't got as much of it in canon as we had Legends, but, like, there's a story for almost every single character. And Lando's like this old Jedi hunter, Ochi of Bestoon. It's like, ooh, what's this guy about? Ooh, he's scary when we see him in that brief moment in Rise of Skywalker. Come to find out, he's a fuck up. He is a god tier fuck up.
I just realized I forgot to mention the best part of Ochi of Bestoon, which is that all of the greatest mistakes, most of the greatest mistakes he made are not really mistakes; they're just alcoholism.
Yeah, yeah. He's a big old boozer, and hey, I can relate. I've gotten drunk on stream and said some stupid shit. I relate. I understand. But Ochi of Bestoon, god tier Glup Shido. And as everybody has said, if there's anybody he deserves to go out to, it's the bad
Sice Noodles.
Sice Noodles.
All right, get down here, Jarod. Let's do this.
Put your dukes up, motherfucker. Let's rock and roll.
The fourth is favorite idiot. Go ahead.
So, as I said, with Coleman Trebor, I don't think there is a character, frankly, as ubiquitous for being a fuck up as Coleman Trebor. I think he is the only fuck up bigger than Ochi of Bestoon. And if you're going to have a character as disposable as Ochi of Bestoon, you got to step it up and have a character who exists only for Jango Fett to look cool last time before getting his shit cut the fuck off. Okay? Coleman Trebor, the Force's favorite idiot.
All right, Jacob, we good?
We're good. Whenever you're ready.
Wat Tambor had the audacity to steal a clone trooper who was left for dead, who we all thought was dead on the planet, on the moon of Lola Sayu. And then when a bunch of clones hijacked his facility to get their brother back, he blamed them for thieving and rescuing their own soldier back from his clutches.
Techno-Union property.
The audacity of that alone is just maybe like the greatest thing ever.
Time. Yeah. Shout out to Wat Tambor. He also he gets arrested by Mace Windu on oh my gosh, I'm blanking.
Ryloth.
The Twilight Code.
Ryloth. Yeah.
We've talked about Ryloth so much today. Honestly though, Coleman Trebor, he is the shittiest of Glup Shidos because what does he do? Like, what does he do? Like, we can say, okay, look, we know what we know the gist with Wat Tambor, but Coleman Trebor, he's just in and out.
I don't think it can be hammered home enough. 360-degree vision. mastery of a martial art based around defense and blaster deflection, and is shot in the chest 3 times, and then falls like 30 feet.
That's insane.
How much of a fuck up?
Then I will just quickly also add that Wat Tambor. We also know that Wat Tambor is in possession of the Ark of the Covenant, so he holds almighty powers of God. So, Marie, Maggie,
I think Wat Tambor is an incredibly terrifying character. And when I first watched the unfinished reels of those episodes of Clone Wars, it's even freakier.
because the detonator in there, yeah.
It's so weird. Like, oh my god, it's real creepy. But Coleman Trebor, he just dies. That's all he does. He literally walks up there and dies. And I will say, Maoi Madakor and Coleman Trebor are 2 characters that have been ingrained into my brain from Dragon Con trivia. And I can't separate, like, I'm going to have to go with Coleman.
I can't believe this is happening. I put so much stock in Sora Bulk.
Yeah.
And I'm winning with Golden Tree.
Maggie, not that it matters, but who you're gonna go for?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Coleman too, but I've got to be honest. What you said last round, turned down for what? That's just like in my head forever now.
It literally, I will send everybody the video. I will link this in the description. It's the techno union of Wat Tambor playing techno music with his dials. It's so fucking funny. It is maybe the funniest thing I've one of the funniest things. All right, Jacob, you and I defending characters that I don't think, much like Jarod, I don't think we ever thought we were going to be defending these specific characters. Jacob, can you get my timer ready?
Yes. Whenever you're ready.
So this guy didn't even know what the word droid meant, even though he was being controlled by droids. Albi Diwa, the pit droid demon in the sky, paying no attention to the man behind the curtain, or in this case, the droids behind the curtain, because Albi Diwa is not real. He's a fictional character, even in the Star Wars universe. This has many layers. All right.
Okay.
Jacob, go ahead.
Okay.
Defend.
We know about
Don't
Albi Diwa. You know about his little dictatorship. But we need to know about 224. He's a regular, salt of the earth, run of the mill droid. He's relatable. He is every battle droid who's more than just a droid, who needs respect, who needs to battle droids in the Clone Wars. They're more than just droids. They are the vehicle for the existential questions and dread of being trapped in this seemingly never ending conflict.
All right.
And they're just created to fight and kill and die. And 224 is one of them.
2 glubs that that neither of us, I don't think either of us definitely expected to get this far.
The droid round.
This is one that I super don't have a dog in the fight of, but I think I'm going to go 224 because it feels right. And I don't.
Let's be
I
real.
haven't seen those episodes of the Clone Wars in a real long time, but I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I'm going 224 because that joke does make me laugh. It is one joke, but it's a funny fucking joke.
Maggie, Marie?
Let Maggie go.
Yeah, it's 224 for me. I like the droid representation in this conversation. I think it needs to continue.
I I love I'll be Dewall, but the fact that 224 even has a name, like it's just too good. It's too good, and that joke is fantastic. So yeah, I would have gone the same.
So when Jacob told me, yeah, one of my characters I'm going to be repping in this is 224, I'm like, you sure about that? You sure you really have
Eli
enough to go off on? And
Tried
now,
to dissuade me.
and now,
multiple times.
and now,
It's because he's afraid of you.
224, and now 224 is entering round 3.
He's afraid of the droid uprising, the IG-88
All right.
droid uprising.
I think this is Jarod and Marie. We have, of course, Jarod, go ahead for Saisi Team.
So I alluded to it before. Saisi Tin does not get to do a whole lot on screen. One of the few things Saisi Tin gets to do as one of the best pilots in the Jedi Order, in like the Plo Koon, Anakin Skywalker tier of Jedi pilots, he gets to lead a foot assault on a Separatist flagship during the Battle of Coruscant. Y'all thought those Orboks on Exegol was crazy? My boy put on a spacesuit and led a siege of clone troopers in a spacesuit covered around his horns, one of the coolest suits of Jedi armor of all time, to take out a Trade Federation dreadnought. God tier stuff.
All right, Marie for Therm Scissor Punch.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Shit.
so Therm Scissor Punch. I mean, just dominating presence in a room, sitting there playing Sabak, knowing that he could easily clip a limb off. He's a scary dude. He's a weird looking dude. And the fact that he is a lobster-like creature with scissor punch is just, it's too good.
We also know that since appearing in the High Republic Phase 2, that in Solo, Scissor Punch must be over like 400 years old.
Yeah, he's several centuries old.
Jarod, his name is Scissor Punch.
I know.
Anyway, well, Jacob, Maggie, what about you?
I got to go with Therm Scissor Punch.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I got to go with Therm Scissor Punch.
It's okay.
Simple as that.
I also vote for Therm Scissor Punch.
All right,
Selection.
and
The
here we
Denny's
go.
Dominator.
What do we have here? All right, Maggie and Marie. Maggie, tell us about Orsing.
Yeah, I think we've talked about a lot of Glup Shidos, but I think in this particular matchup, I want to say I love Jira. I love she has my dream job to be a poor woman selling fruit whose bones ache a little bit is like what I aspire to be. But when I'm talking about a Glup Shido, what I want is something that is a little bit more specifically Star Wars and connects us to that universe. So to have someone again that like truly on a ledge for 5 seconds to eventually find out that they helped train Boba Fett. Boba Fett. That's it for me.
All right, Mary, whenever you're ready.
Well, I just love her voice. She has a great distinctive voice. You close your eyes and you can picture, and that I don't know what else to add. But I think she is fantastic. And just I just love her voice. That her lines are just so good. Old woman. You can picture her with a cane.
Again, as I alluded to before, Orsing shows up in the Jango Fett prelude story in Revelations today, and just for that, and for also her great appearance in Hostage Crisis, I'm going Orsing.
I got to go Orsing as well. Hostage Crisis was amazing, and she's one of the bounty hunters in the Clone Wars, I think, who is truly terrifying when she appears. So yes, I'll go Orsing. I mean, she even shows up in Ahsoka's dreams, for crying out loud. Like she's given Jedi nightmares in the most literal sense. So
to build off of that, I mean, again, I just want to harken back to some legends, Glup Shitters. shitness. Aurra Sing is part of the origin story of one of my favorite Star Wars characters of all time. So she does have a special place in my heart. And as much as I love feeling it in me bones, I think I also have to go Aurra Sing here.
So we have it's clearly I think pretty much the person who wins this bracket is going to be one of these two down here because they are 3 out of the 4 matchups in round in the next round. So Marie, Poplu round 3.
Poplu. Okay. So I love how C-3PO says that he has gone and done something rather rash. It's just a great little line, and it confuses people, and they're like, what's happening? And then like, oh my God, what does he think he's doing? But it was a good thing. It ended up being such a good thing that he did. But they thought he was being silly, but he was actually had a heart of bravery.
All right, Maggie, represent the Dylan Tyrell Society with Mrs. Tyrell.
I love Ewoks. Like, I'm so glad that if Kanisa couldn't be here, I'm so glad that Poplu is. Because we love Ewoks. Everyone loves Ewoks. Everyone talks about Ewoks. You know who nobody talks about? The Tyrells. And the injustice that happened to them.
True.
And sure, we can sum up all the love of the Ewok species in Poplu. He represents so much of that, and he will always have a place in my heart, obviously. But this is Glup Shittos we're talking about. This is the tragedy of Star Wars. And who embodies that more than the Tyrells? I don't think anybody. I really don't.
I think, we see a lot of stuff in Star Wars. We see a lot of craziness, but, Mrs. Tyrell, having lost her husband in a pod racing accident, a tragedy, then creating a foundation about that, that's just one of those little world building things that makes you go, wow. Look at everything Star Wars can be. Look at this. Look at the depths of this fictional, weird, wacky, wonderful place. I'm going with Mrs. Tyrell.
So I will say this, although I'm going with Poplu, just because of the sheer goofiness of stealing the speeder bike, have you or a loved one been impacted by the evils of pod racing? Contact the Dylan type. Like, you can see that ad writes itself in the universe. But I'm going with Poplu because he's a silly little guy who steals the speeder bike. It's hilarious.
Listen, I love the chaotic good of a rangy little Ewok hijacking a speeder bike, nearly killing himself, and setting the ground and laying the groundwork for the greatest come from behind victory the rebellion ever saw. However, the balance of the macabre, the tragic, and the absurdly fucking funny that is the Tyrell story. I really did not want it to come down to Poplu and Mrs. Rax Tyrell. I really did not want to have to choose between these two at all. But I think I'm going House Tyrell.
All right, Tyrell. We're gonna keep with Maggie and Marie because they have a second matchup of their 3. Marie, please tell us about Ilan Slisbagano or Selfagano, whatever. Now.
So this dude, he's just walking around thinking that anybody's going to buy his death sticks. He just walks up to Obi-Wan, he's super confident, but then he's not, because he's very malleable in his mind. And he ends up being very weak. And he does go and changes his life, at least according to Wikipedia. He does turn everything around, all because Obi-Wan. It was Kismet meeting.
All right. and Maggie, go ahead for Size Noodles.
Yeah, first of all, I got to give my flowers to Sleazebag, like unbeatable name.
Selling bags, baby.
With Sai, I want to talk about evolution. I think it's something that we think about as people and also as characters, and to have a character that can be so iconic in the most central to me vibes of the original trilogy is the creature shop and the puppets there, and that's so important. But then also to be able to translate into CG and continue to maintain that iconic spot in our hearts. That's Glup to me.
I heard that's Glup to me, and like that's Amore in the same tune.
All right.
No, man. This is hard.
It's a difficult one, but I can start if no one else wants to.
Please do. Please
I
do.
just have one thing to say. Dun, 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 dun. It's Size Noodles. It's Size Noodles. On the banger of that tune alone, it's Size Noodles.
You know, that's honestly, I've been trying to like keep my love of Jedi Rocks out of it as much as I can. That I'm like, you know, we're talking about the gluppiness, but like, I'm like,
Catchy as hell, isn't it?
I want for the meme. I want to be for the meme and have it go to Elon selling dime bags. Okay. Okay, like he's pushing P. He's like Jay-Z. He was selling drugs on the street and then he turned the shit around. He's like Hova. Okay, but I think I gotta go Size Noodles. And if I'm comparing him to Jay-Z, we gotta go with Star Wars Beyonce. You know what I'm saying?
Jacob?
Okay, I think that's Size Noodles and Elon sells Bagano being the new Star Wars Jay-Z and Beyonce is phenomenal, Jarod. Absolutely phenomenal. And,
Thank you.
you know, you guys have saved me. Thank you, from a very difficult position of being the deciding vote. So with that in mind, you know, I will. This is a clash. This is a true clash of the Titans. Feels like this matchup should be happening later in a later round. However, yeah, I'll give a sympathy vote, an honorary vote to Elon Sleazebagano, sells Bagano, whichever one you want.
All right.
Amazing name, amazing little story.
So
everything about that is just it's perfect.
We've had a conundrum like this before happen.
With me.
Maggie, which of these two characters, of Mrs. Tyrell or Size Noodles, do you want to defend more?
Oh.
Damn. See, Maggie's been coming through with these fucking haymakers in these last couple matchups. It's like, now you get a taste of what it's like to have to pick between all these god tier shows.
Man, that's tough. So then someone else is going to argue my other.
Yeah.
Or they are both going, or only one of them is going through.
Oh no, both of them are going through. I just like, we usually don't have people argue against themselves in later rounds. So,
but she gets to choose her surrogate,
yeah,
right?
She gets to choose. Yeah.
If I go against if I pick the losing one of the two, do I get to come back and reclaim?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Okay,
yes, you do.
So I'm already in the finals. So tough. I'm gonna argue on behalf of Sai in the spirit of Glup Shadow God tierness.
All right. Who wants to is there anyone who feels particularly passionately about arguing for Miss Tyrell in this round?
I think everyone should be.
If it's on the table, I will happily go to bat for Miss Tyrell, a hero of the people.
All right, then I'll do that for the next round. But we're not done with this round. We're halfway done with this round. A match that I don't think either of these two were predicting. Jarod, go to Coleman Trevor.
Coleman Trevor. With 300, I don't think I've hammered home the 360-degree vision thing enough. Like martial arts wise, 3 blaster bolts at point blank range, that should be nothing. I don't care if it's the fastest gun in the galaxy. Point blank range. This motherfucker could see in 360 degrees and felt confident enough as somebody who was put on the Jedi Council because he was good at public relations and went up there and went, yeah, I'll fight the motherfucker who was trained by Yoda. Yeah, I can take him. That's nothing for me. I got this. And then he went up there and got shot in the chest 3 times and then fell 30 feet.
Okay. Jacob, go ahead. 224.
Okay, look. If we want to talk about neoliberal capitalism, we have someone like Coleman Trebor in the fancy Jedi Temple on top, and we have someone like 224, emblematic of the effects of these sinister systems that they are having far and wide across the galaxy. 224 is not just about a joke. He is about the battle droids and what they go through and how little they are seen as by the separatists, by the clones, by the Jedi, by everything.
Permission to make a counter argument, Your Honor.
About that.
No,
I would like to cross-examine the fact that he is bringing up a battle droid made by an army made up of a network of mega corporations. Are you fucking with me right now? Come bring it up neoliberal capitalism.
Yeah,
how dare you?
He doesn't have that choice. He doesn't have that choice. He is part of the system. He is a cog in the machine.
How dare
you know who's making decisions about this that affect the entire galaxy? Millions of people. The Jedi Council.
I'm gonna just say this. How the actual fuck did 224 make it this far? I'm going Coleman Trevor.
Eli, I knew you would.
I say little boy that could. 224.
224.
No!
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I swear to God, Jacob.
Revolution.
I swear to God, Jacob, if your first win comes from 224, I will burn this channel down. All right. Marie and Maggie yet again. Thurman Aura. Go ahead for Thurm.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay. That dude. Man, talk about cool creature design, and what a great name. It's just the perfect name. And he plays cards. How does he play cards? He has chompers. I don't really know how this works, but somehow it does. And it's fabulous.
All right, Maggie for Jira.
No,
for Aura. Sorry, for your Aura. For Aura.
Although I would argue for Jira anything. No, for Aura, I mean, again, going from girl on ledge to everything she's become for us. And so much of that is so tied to what feels Star Wars-y to me. I mean, aside from her amazing look, she's a bounty hunter, she's trainer, she's got the microchip situation, she's assassin, and that all is so Star Wars-y to me. And then you look at, I mean, how many Glup Shidos have been on Star Wars Insider?
Fair enough. That's
So there was a YouTube sketch I was watching where somebody was named something like ridiculous, like Murder Blade something, and one of the people in the sketch goes, "His name is Murder. His name is literally Murder," and then the other guy in the sketch goes, "Murder Blade, my lord," and that is exactly how I feel about Thurm Scissor Punch. His name is Scissor. His name is literally Scissor. Scissor Punch, my lord. Yeah, it's Thurm Scissor Punch.
If I may, again, I love what Aura's saying. She's incredible in the Clone Wars. She is that bitch. Okay? And I love her in Legends. Thurm Scissor Punch, like I said earlier, is kind of the platonic ideal of a Glup Shido. Like, again, I just want everybody to remember real quick. Let's think about, like again, Han Solo, Lando Calrissian, Emilia Clarke coming off the Game of Thrones run. Woody Harrelson, legendary actor. Tandy Newton. all of these legendary actors and legendary characters. Donald Glover is in that movie as a legendary character. Therm fucking Scissor Punch also got a trading card at Denny's. And again, I love the Disney era of Star Wars. I love the Disney era of Star Wars. Without it, we don't have any more Star Wars. Okay, but like, let's just center this here for a second. The existence of Therm Scissor Punch and the proliferation of Therm Scissor Punch is the most pre-Disney Star Wars thing we've gotten in a long time. Okay, that's like Bail Organa or like Mon Mothma, who's only in deleted scenes, or Newt Gunray getting action figures and getting pushed to the masses as something like, hey, your kid might want to play with this. They don't, but they might. Therm Scissor Punch, man. I have to. I love Aura Singh, but like Therm.
Jacob, you're muted.
You know, so do we have 2 votes for Therm already?
Yep.
Okay. I'll give an honorary vote to Aura Singh because Aura Singh is awesome. But yeah, and also because it just struck me that, you know, Therm is kind of a lobster dude. And look, it's Star Wars, but you know, the lobsters that I see, you know, they've got a really big claw and a really small claw, you know, and they're specialized for different things. And
are you saying that Therm's claws are not to your satisfaction, Jacob?
Yes, Eli. Yes, Eli, I am. I wish Therm had 2 different size claws, especially since he's called Scissor Punch. So it would be really funny for him to have like one like big giant claw, like a cartoonishly large claw. That being said, I still love Therm's Scissor Punch. Therm, don't be mad at me.
All right. We are to the semifinals, and let's get Jarod back on here. Jarod, raise that PSA energy, because go and defend Mrs. Tyrell.
Had I realized I'd end up in this situation today, I would have waited to do my whole neoliberal capitalism thing.
Before that.
So I want everybody to remember back to how funny that was and how poignant that was, and just remember that, because it's true. We are talking about people who refuse to be victims but chose to be survivors and stand up against the systems of unchecked capitalism on the world of Tatooine, exploitative capitalism, because they're taking advantage of people who have no other means to make their living but by taking part in these obscene death races. And from that, a family shattered by tragedy and incompetence was able to make a difference in this galaxy.
All right.
Luke Skywalker is a bitch next to the Tyrell family.
I agree.
All right.
Yo, Eli, can we
Maggie.
clip that out of context? I feel like I just need to have that.
I have a
That
good
will get
feeling
clipped.
there's going to be
That
a couple clips made out of some shit I've said.
Oh yeah,
Released
no.
outrageous carriage
Give
statement.
it something I've learned is, given the choice to clip Jarod out of context or not clip Jarod out of context, the powers that be, aka some of our friends, will always choose the former. Maggie, go ahead for Size Noodles.
Yeah, and all my love to Mrs. Tyrell. When I think about what Star Wars is, what it means to me, it's about the music and it's about family. And Sai really lives at an intersection of both. Obviously, I mean, her song's iconic, truly iconic. You see them once, they're with you forever. And then the music for the whole series. We all owe John Williams so much. But we also owe Joseph Williams so much, his son, who wrote the lyrics to her song. So you really have, it's a family affair. And we're all a part of Sai's family.
She hit the Olive Garden with Size Noodles.
All right.
Am I wrong?
You're not. I'm blown away by it. I am enraptured by it.
Maybe next time you'll think twice before breaking someone's heart. Oh wait, there won't be a next time. I'm going Snipe. I'm going Snipe Noodles.
I'm gonna have to go with, I'm going Sai as well. You know, difficult choice, and Mrs. Tyrell. What an incredible run in this bracket. What an amazing round of applause for Mrs. Tyrell and everything that
I
she.
feel like in some way we've given her
represents.
justice, some closure,
Yeah.
Yes.
the
We have.
acknowledgement that she deserves.
But ultimately, it's got to be Sai. When it comes to Glup Shido, she's everything you want and more out of a character, you know, more than meets the eye.
Yeah.
All right, Marie, you going the same?
Oh yeah, I would have said Size Noodles, and I actually back in middle school, so like I don't know, the year 2000 maybe. I totally bought the CD with just Jedi Rocks on it. It was like a transparent CD with just the middle of it had the song on it, and it was wonderful. So
All right. And then our final, and then our second match, which I cannot believe is happening. Jacob, I really would prefer you not to tell us more about 224.
I have no choice, Eli. I'm sorry. The people want what the people want. Okay. I cannot stress this enough. 224 is more than just a joke. The humor is emblematic of the battle droids who are in this position in society where no one respects them. No one even acknowledges their individuality for the most part. How do they cope with that? Battle droid humor. That's why it's such a big part of the Clone Wars. I think it's not just a gag. I would say it's a valuable cultural, anthropological tool for understanding the battle droid's condition.
All right,
and 224 is the best example of that.
Yeah, shit, I forgot the time.
Case closed.
Marie for Therm Scissor Punch.
okay, here's another picture of him. Yeah,
that was a trading card, baby. Yeah.
So Thermoculus, like what a first name. Thermoculus, Crescent Volt, Scissor Punch, and again with like we've said, he's in the High Republic now. That's some pretty cool stuff right there.
Jacob, look at me for a second.
Eli?
Scissor Punch. Anyway, yeah, I'm going for Therm.
Maybe
Therm
outside.
Scissor Sweep right now, baby.
You know what? I quote that droid line to myself too often to not cast my allegiance for him now.
Thank you, Maggie. I appreciate
Scissor
this.
Punch is the yaddle of this stream, Jarod. All right.
Don't
If I may,
me about that stream.
a swan song for 224, if I may.
No. Yeah, we can't hear it. I think it's the background noise, Jacob.
Okay. Well, the background noise filtered it out, but
all right.
The meaning was there.
I think that was fitting for him that he actually got silenced at the end of the day.
Oh no.
Yo.
Don't do me like that, Jarod.
All right. So I think it's here we go. No, I think it's the other way around. Never mind. Maggie, go ahead for Sai. Final round.
Sai, what is there to say about her that hasn't already been said? Except there's a lot. Sai, she's a glut shido for all of us. Whether you've seen Star Wars once or whether you've seen it all and know the background story, she's there for you. And the more you learn about her, the more you learn about her backstory, the more she means to you. And so there's been so much said. I'll end with this. An English translation of her hit single. My body heat is rising. My soul is sympathizing. A loving man is coming, so I'm shaping up and working out. I feel my heart a pumping. My whole brain is thumping. Yes, a fancy man is coming.
Beautiful words.
Now I want to hear the English translation to Dot Hub Muna because that's a banger as well. the Temple of Doom sequence at the beginning of Hunt for Zero. All right, Marie, go ahead. Thumb, scissor, punch.
Oh,
One final
okay.
time.
So, we get a wide variety of earth animal translated species in Clone Wars. But Therm Scissor Punch, we got him. We got this Nephrin in real life. This crazy creature in real life. And his name is Thermoculus Scissor Punch. He's got a shank in his claw. Like, what? He's great.
All right, Jarod, Jacob, for the decision that will decide it all.
It all comes down to this.
All comes down to Snoodles or Scissor Punch, which is exactly as silly as a matchup as I wanted this final round to be.
It almost feels like we always knew it was headed here.
We did. This is incredibly difficult. Goes without saying. But ultimately, I think this comes down to what do we want the character of this tournament to be in terms of how does the winner represent this bracket, the idea of a Glup Shido. And I think that these two characters represent different ideas of what a Glup Shido can be. However, ultimately here, I'm going to go with substance for my vote for the winner, for who I want to be the overall winner, because either one of these could be the winner and should be the winner. I'm going with Size Noodles, who has an incredible amount of substance behind her character that has been built up over the years in the Clone Wars, in these different things, all stemming out from one original, oh, that was weird, probably never going to see her again type of appearance, which I think is what being a Glup Shido is all about. And hey, maybe down the line, Therm Scissor Punch, we'll have something like that. I certainly hope so. But my
Jarod,
vote is for Size Noodles.
I love Size Noodles. I love Jedi Rocks. I love Return of the Jedi. I love everything about Return of the Jedi, but especially that opening act. And I sit here wearing a shirt with Size Noodles on it. But Therm Scissor Punch truly does hold a special place in my heart. And when the meme that is in the very thumbnail of this stream, the Star Wars fans will be like, oh my God, Glup Shido is back. Therm Scissor Punch was the first time that a character who was not an unnamed background Jedi got this much of a rise out of me. So my loyalties lie firmly with Therm Scissor Punch.
Well, I guess then there's one more thing to do.
You have the tiebreaker.
Winner. Need I provide more reason? Also, Daha Muna. Congratulations, Maggie, for your second win. I believe that is in a row, actually, because you were the winner of our last one. Size Noodle
Pure domination
with a 2-1 victory. That was a crazy round. That was a crazy. It was a crazy stream of so much buffoonery and so much great stuff. I will say we do have one more thing to do before we wrap the show. And that is on every stream we do a quick little game called 6 Degrees of Star Wars, which is trying to connect characters like the Kevin Bacon game. Jacob, I think we'll just do one now because it's running a little long. Jacob,
I have a heart out very, very soon.
Okay,
yes,
so provide one of yours. Yeah.
Okay. The floor is open for whoever can connect. Let's go Cicatro Vizago from Rebels to Orca from Star Wars Resistance.
Oh, that's a good one. Orca.
I could do it in one.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. Two. But
yeah.
Because it can't be more than one. Or no, I misspoke. I'm sorry.
3.
Three. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm forgetting how I'm not sure if we're counting by the person or by the dash that would be the connection.
Yeah, I count like not including the first person, to the end, basically, not including the first. Yeah, so 3.
Okay, I haven't seen much of Resistance, so it's 3 or 4. But I'm gonna go Vizago, Hera, Leia, Poe. What's his name from Resistance? And if that doesn't do it, then throw Kaz in there.
I think we'd have to throw Kaz in there. I don't know whether.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
whether
It's
they
been
meet,
so very long, and I've seen so very little.
Yeah. If anybody else has something, I'm trying to think of who Orca has interacted with. Forgot he's a Chadra fan. Can anybody figure out something else for Orca?
Does BB-8 ever meet him?
Yeah, it does. So you can do that there.
You
can do
that's bad.
Orca, BB-8, Poe, Orca, BB-8, Poe.
You could go
Leia.
BB-8 Leia even.
Oh yeah, Orca, BB-8, Leia, Hera, Vizago. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. I think that's about as good as I could do it. That's a really good one, Jacob. All right. So to wrap this up, I'll give everybody the floor to plug where you can find them. First, our winner today, Maggie. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me walking my dog or knitting a scarf, perhaps. Occasionally on Twitter, Talking Bay 94 BAE. But if I was going to promote a podcast, it would be the holiday special between Talking Bay 94, my better half, and Sky Talkers and Blast Points. It's really fun, and it's on all 3 of their streams.
Absolutely, go check that out.
I wasn't on it, but I was mentioned, and that makes a first in the Talking Bay 94 podcast history.
Marie, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on, I guess it's called X now, at Alia Morgaine. And I do have a queer Star Wars YouTube channel, Afra's Artifacts. I'm on a hiatus right now because of school. So I'm hoping to come back eventually, but I'm not 100% sure when. But I have over 100 episodes that you can check out about queer Star Wars.
And finally, Jarod.
Yeah, you guys can find me over at the Nerd Academy podcast. We also have a new episode of Knights of the Nerd Republic, our Star Wars show, out about the Star Wars holiday special as well. So go check that out. That was a lovely episode we did. Jerry the Cannon Junkie from the Bomb Dad Cast joined us. You can also find me on Ionized Bastards, a Star Wars real play RPG show, Star Wars D&D. What else can you ask for? Season 2 just came out. There's 7 episodes in season 1. So go get caught up.
Out. Yeah,
it is my favorite thing I've ever worked on. So I'm hiccuping really bad through my plugs. I apologize. So go check out the Nerd Academy podcast and Ionized Bastards as well.
Absolutely. I'm just gonna remove our guests here. Jacob, that was a great stream. I'll just quickly plug our stuff. We're going to, I think, as I previously stated, we are going to do new bracket streams. We're trying to do it every 2 months now. Thanks so much for sticking, everyone, including our guests, for singing the stream. It was a bit longer than I anticipated. I'm sorry about that, but either way, you can find us at In a Galaxy Pod everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, everywhere. You can find me, linktr.ee/_OchiFan327 is my link tree, where you can find all my stuff. Listen to In a Galaxy, which is everywhere on all podcasting platforms. Watch Epic Confrontations here on YouTube. Jake, do you have anything else, or should we?
No, thank you to our guests. Thank you for everyone for coming on. I love you all. This was amazing.
Yeah, thanks everyone, and may the force be with you always.